Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Circworks, and this is another Fan Art Friday. And if you were with me last Friday, you'll know that I drew this Star-Lord guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. So I figured I'd just keep with that theme and do another Guardians character. I'm going to do Groot today. So let's see. Let's start getting the basic outline here. And forgive me, this is usually the part where you can't really see what's going on because I draw pretty light. So to make it a little more interesting, I usually try to talk while I'm doing it. But I don't know, since we're doing Groot today, maybe we should maybe I should just do this whole video in kind of Groot's parlance. So yeah, I'll do that. So for the rest of this video, I'll just be talking like Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Okay, I don't think I'll do that. Man, he's not much of the conversationalist, so but still he's an awesome character, so that's why we're gonna do him. So this should be an interesting one. Yeah, this is a character that I'm sure hardly anyone is drawing nowadays. So I don't know if I'll have any kind of a different spin on it or not, but yeah, that's kind of what these Fan Art Friday things are all about. It's just a chance for me to draw a character that, you know, the average person probably can relate to or that knows or whatever. Because the rest of the time I'm trying to create my own characters and everything, but let's see. Get the basic outline. I don't know how much, like I'm looking at my screen and it looks pretty clear to me, but that's not always the case once it gets uploaded to YouTube and there's all the, there's the compression and everything. So yeah, let's see. So the last one I did, I actually already had the character penciled, and Star-Lord, and I wanted to actually show some drawing. So I'm hoping it shows up, but we'll see. And but I do want to. I kind of want to try to keep these videos at around no more than an hour. And I think Star-Lord was a little more detailed than Groot's probably going to be. So hopefully I can still do it an hour, even though I don't have part of the drawing already created. So let's see. And the other thing, when I'm inking, it's a little easier for me to ink and talk at the same time than it is to draw. And I'm noticing something's wrong with my pencil. There's like because I turn it around and there's like one area of my pencil where I don't know if it's got something on it, but it's not wanting to draw that easily. So oh yeah, this is fun. This should be a fun character to draw because he's got, I can kind of have fun with it. There's so many, he's all made out of roots and things like that. So he'll be a little harder to mess up, I think. But so I'm looking at this reference right now on my screen, which you can't see, but it is a costume that somebody built of Groot, and it is just amazing. And I've built some fairly, elaborate costumes in my day, but this one is, like I said, it kind of takes the cake. So, um, but I was looking at some of the different steps involved, and um, I don't know if you guys ever watch any like costume making videos or anything like that, but people are using building these really cool costumes out of they're kind of like the floor mats, not like that are in a car, but the foam rubber flooring that you put down in your garage and everything. And just cutting those up. And I bought a whole bunch of that. I've been using that stuff to design my booth because I built like if you're not familiar, I guess I should tell you this first. Um, so my company CircWorks, it's kind of got a mad scientist laboratory theme to everything. That's kind of the branding. Um, and so I built a lot of the stuff for my Comic Con booth out of this. I'm trying to remember the actual term for it, but it's just the like garage flooring, the foam garage flooring, and it comes in squares, or sometimes you can buy it in rolls. I bought a whole bunch of it. Well, not a whole bunch, but it should last me for a little while. Um, Big Lots, which I don't know where you're at if you have Big Lots or not, but it's kind of like a discount store. They were getting rid of them, so I bought a whole bunch of them and in the rolls. So I'm looking forward to doing some cool stuff with that. But I mean, you can cut this stuff up, and you can, I've seen people make like Iron Man costumes out of it, and it's just really incredible. I subscribe to a couple YouTube channels where people do this kind of stuff, and yeah, it's like I'm looking at this Groot thing, and it is pretty amazing. But it kind of shows how they cut the mask out. And man, if I had time this Halloween, I might even attempt to try to do one. Um, like I've got three kids. I've got two boys and a girl, and my daughter's the younger one, so she probably doesn't have any interest in being Groot. So I don't know if I'll, and yeah, I don't know if I would do a costume like that for me, but maybe just building the mask might be kind of cool to do. But it looks like they use that foam, and then they'll use like a soldering gun or something to kind of carve away at it, and it really looks cool. But yeah, I built this one was fairly simple, but I used it to build my son this Minecraft costume. It was I want to is it Enderman? I don't know much about Minecraft other than what I gather from my kids. It's either Elderman or Enderman or something like that. And it's just a bunch of boxes, but I made it all of that foam, so it'd be like lightweight and everything. Um, let's see, can you see that? And my son, this is my younger son, and he's not super big into Halloween, but he did want me to make him that costume, and I think he wore it for about maybe 5-10 minutes and took it off, and it was like, oh, you got to be kidding me! After I spent all that time, so but what are you gonna do? But yeah, I do a lot of like work with foam and stuff like that. Whether it's like styrofoam or like the foam rubber type. I don't want to say foam rubber because that's like that spongy type foam, but you probably know what I'm talking about if you've seen these diamond plated squares that you use for like garage flooring and everything. But man, they do some. There's a term for it, and I forgot what the actual term was. I can look it up. But man, if you see the stuff people are making out of this, and unfortunately, it's like it's not the foam. That stuff isn't obviously it's not made for making costumes. So sometimes it's hard to find because they don't like market it for that type of thing. And so So, you know, sometimes you just got to go on the internet and order it and everything. But and when I can find it on sale, like I did, I'll buy a whole bunch of it because I'll figure out something to make with it. I don't, yeah, and unfortunately, the thing I'm looking at, this costume that was made, this Groot costume, it shows a little bit how they made the mask, but not much else. And I'm looking at the body and everything, and I'm wondering what it's made of because it's, I mean, yeah, I can't, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's like, because it's got all the little roots and things like the stuff that you see me drawing here. Um, but it's, I don't know if that's made out of foam too, probably. So let's see. And there's just looking at references for this. The one I'm doing is a little more based on like the movie. I'm not too familiar with Groot from the comic books. Um, so so I'm just kind of going with the movie look. But I'm looking at like some of the pictures from the comic books. It looks like he's got these, you know, obviously he's all built out of like tree branches and stuff, but in the comics he's got like these big circles all over him that look like they glow, like he's got some kind of, you know, energy source coming from him. Like I know in the movie when he created all those like lightning bugs or whatever, it's kind of like that. Let me go back. I'm kind of flipping through some other references here. The one that I was looking at didn't really show the legs, which I could probably do most of this guy without reference because it is just a bunch of tree roots and things. But I like the pose that I did. I wanted him to kind of like he's so tall that he's not fitting in. Like if you've seen the trailer where he's, you know, he's kind of has to duck in to go through all the passageways and everything. So I thought it would be cool to do that. Let's see. And it looks like his legs could almost be like growing into the ground, like just basically the root of a tree. This guy's super fun to draw. I can see why everyone is just going crazy with the fan art, the Groot and Rocket Raccoon fan art. So I figured I might as well jump on the bandwagon and do one myself. So I don't know how it'll stack up to everyone else's version, but sometimes you got to do your own thing. All right. Getting there with the pencils. I should be able to break out the ink pretty soon. So if you're having trouble seeing all this, then it won't be long before I start throwing in some ink. And I think he's gonna be standing in like a spaceship with maybe like some. I should have brought my ruler out here so I could draw some of these a little straighter. But I think it's gonna be like an airlock door or something with some stars in the background, outer space, like it's going out into space. And I'll put some details in there, but just so I know. And let's see. I want to kind of give him this curious look. Like I said, I'm looking at different references, and some people draw him with kind of like a real angry, you know, angry look on his face, which he does sometimes in the movie. He got a little mad, but I like the more curious look that he's got. So I don't know if that'll come across in this or not. All right. Let me see. Not sure if I'm gonna get the top of the head exact, but should be good enough. I don't know if he's. Oh yeah, it looks like there's some versions where he's actually got some kind of branches growing out of him right here. That's kind of cool. Or on his arms. So I'll draw some of that. I am Groot. It's hard not to do that when you're drawing him. Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to see Guardians of the Galaxy again, not yet. But I did go and check out the original Ghostbusters for the 30th anniversary in the theater, and that was really cool. And I was lucky because I mean, usually that's a movie that I would watch, here and there, but it's been, and it was even on my Netflix queue because it's on Netflix, and I was gonna watch it, and I didn't know that it was gonna be coming out on, out in the theaters again, and so yeah, I was sitting there, and I kept saying, "Oh, I gotta watch this again. It's been a while since I've seen Ghostbusters," but I'm glad I didn't watch it because then it was just like stuff that I had forgotten about and everything. So because it had been a while since I'd seen it, so that was really cool. And yeah, I mean that was just. I'm trying to remember what it felt like when Ghostbusters first came out. Um, I can't remember if it was one of those where everyone was like, because it was such a weird kind of concept for its time, and I wasn't sure if it was like if it had like a good buzz around it, or if it was like this movie looks so ridiculously stupid, and then it ended up being great. I don't know if it was like that, or if everyone knew that it was gonna be, awesome. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, the the build up and everything from that. I mean, you almost knew it had to be like a huge success just from the trailers, and trailers can often steer you wrong, but um, yeah, I was like, "There's this movie looks so great," but maybe not to everyone because I think my girlfriend saw the trailer and she's like, "I don't know, what is this? This looks like this looks kind of stupid or whatever." But I think she's like, "Oh, we gotta," and it got closer, and she was like the one that said, "Oh, we gotta go see Guardians of the Galaxy." And I forgot what it was. There was something. There was something in the movie that said, "Oh, this." I forgot if it was a person, if it was something, but something said that she had to go see it. So, and she loved it. I think everyone loved it. I haven't heard anyone say that they hate it. So, anyway, so here we go. I think we're getting close enough where I can start doing the inking now. But yeah, some of you got younger guys out there and gals. If you haven't seen the original Ghostbusters, it's just great. They've been talking about wanting to remake it for a while, and the latest thing they were talking about was doing it with an all female cast, or not all female cast, but as the main Ghostbusters, which I kind of like that idea, just because there's so many remakes nowadays, and it's like you're never gonna capture how great the original was for the most part. That'll very rarely happen. So why not just go an entirely different direction? Those are like some of the, sometimes when they do that, that tends to make for better remakes. Um, so yeah, it might be an interesting. I don't know who they're talking about casting or whatever, but I think that would be kind of cool actually. Just to do, and I don't know if it would be like a remake or a sequel, or if that idea will fall on its face and never go any further. You never know when you hear these things in Hollywood about these these movies that are going to happen, and they never do. So who knows? All right. I don't know about his hands. I don't know really. I'm trying to look at reference to see what his hands kind of look like. It looks like they're especially from the inside, the palm of the hands. I'm just going to do my own thing and kind of have some kind of like vines kind of wrapped around his fingers. I don't know if that's, I don't think they look like they're more just twigs, but I don't know. I think I'm going to do that. That seems like if I was designing the character, how we would have. I like doing these vines. I had a one of the first. I used to a long time ago. I used to work in the children's entertainment business, and I created a children's show called The Adventures of Alex the Ape, and it was kind of, it had an environmental theme to it. And it was about an ape, and there was an imaginary land that they lived in, and it was kind of like a place where anything could happen. Like there was a character that was kind of based on the Loch Ness monster, and another character was kind of based on Bigfoot, and that was kind of the setting of the show. Let's see, you know what? I need a thing to do my inks on since I'm getting ready to ink. Um, but yeah, so the character was always swinging on vines. So I learned how to draw vines. And it was always fun to do because I kind of looked at that. That was back around the time, that was in the 90s. So that was back when Todd McFarlane was doing Spider-Man, and he kind of, I don't know if he created this, but he popularized the whole spaghetti webbing thing. Excuse me, just taking a drink there. But so I kind of wanted the vines to kind of have their own kind of feel like that. And he would always be swinging on these vines and everything. Um, and I just wanted to kind of have a cool look. So I haven't really done that in a while, but I used to draw vines all the time. All right, where are we? Okay, so I'll just show you what I'm using here. I got my FW artist acrylic ink, which is, like I said, acrylic. It's a little different than India ink. It's a little, got a little, I don't know if it's any thicker, maybe a tiny bit thicker, but it definitely has better coverage. And I don't know, I like to use it as opposed to just the regular India ink. But sometimes I do use the Higgins Black Magic when I can't find this stuff or whatever. And then I've got my well, this is live TV, ladies and gentlemen. That kind of stuff can happen. So I can fix it. I can fix it. But I think I'm gonna have to wait till it's gonna kind of look like garbage until I can work around the whole thing and fix it. The good thing is this is all going to be black here, so that's not going to be a problem. So, man, all right, all right, all right. These things happen. Butterfingers, man. So I'm just gonna go continue like that's not even there, and I will fix it in the end. So it's gonna look gonna look a little awkward while I'm working on it with that big paint splotch there. But so for now, well, what I was gonna show you before I drop my brush is I'm using this Cotman. It's a watercolor brush by Winsor Newton. These are more, these are the inexpensive line, but they seem to work pretty good for what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll use a Pentel pocket brush. I like this one because it's an aught or 0, so it's nice and tiny. And if you've watched these videos before, you've heard me talk about this before. But anyway, so the good thing about art is that a lot of times these mistakes can be fixed. So either by painting over something or whatever. So not a big deal. It's just like I said, it's gonna look a little funny until I get to that point. So this is one where I get to kind of do a little more fun stuff with the brush and kind of, because it's got all these, you know, I can kind of do these quick lines down here. I didn't get to do that much on the Star-Lord one, so, but just getting these kind of textures. Yeah. Now it should be fine when I'm done with it. But he's got a villain mustache. Here, let's just do this. Might as well, right? Groot, the mustache twirling villain. I am Groot. I tie ladies to train tracks. All right. Let's see, get his eyes there. He's got these big black eyes. It's funny because he doesn't have any pupils or anything like that, just these dark sunken eyes, but his face just shows so much expression in the movie. So this is the evil this is the evil Groot with the mustache, because anytime you see two characters that look exactly the same but one's got a mustache, it's the evil version. Or he could be blue like Faker from Masters of the Universe, which I never really understood why he was blue. Because in the cartoons he just looked like He-Man, which made sense because people thought that he was He-Man. But the toys, I mean, obviously you're not going to buy another toy that looks exactly like He-Man because you could just buy He-Man. So they made the toy, the evil He-Man, blue, and which is cool. I mean, I like that figure and everything, but it's not like you're going to confuse him with the real He-Man. So, but in most cases, when they've got the villain, wasn't there? I don't know if there was it six. I'm trying to remember $6 million Man. If there was a Steve Austin with they've done that so many times where the villain kind of has the mustache. Did they do that with Captain Kirk? Was there evil Captain Kirk with the like a goatee or something? I don't know. You can leave a comment in the this YouTube chat or the comment section if you can remember what some of those shows were where they had the evil characters with the mustaches. It's not good news for people that actually have mustaches. It's like you guys are all evil. I want to talk to the one without the mustache. He's the good one. So that's getting there. I actually got close on that where I got to find my little whiteout. What is it? My gel pen, because I can probably fix that in just a few minutes, so it won't look so awkward. A Groot stash. I have if you're I don't know, a hipster and you like mustaches and you like bacon, or you're not a hipster and you like mustaches and bacon, I actually have a little pin on my website for sale at circworks.com. You can check that out in the store, but it's called Sir Bacon Stash, and it's just a little guy with a bacon mustache. That was a fun little design I did. But yeah, I've got a bunch of different pins, and I've got all kinds of cool stuff on my website. I got a lot of retro sci-fi prints and stuff like that. So, and I used to do like some of the daily T-shirt things, the parodies and stuff. I've got a poster on T Fury now called How to Kill Monsters, and it's kind of a it's just a design that it shows you all the different ways you can kill different monsters, like from Dracula to the Wolfman to the Mummy, and what it takes to kill all those creatures. So it's kind of like a handy guide that you can take along with you, or you can put on your wall, so you always know how to destroy monsters if you ever encounter one. So that somewhere on T Fury site, there's a poster section, and that's up there. But I used to do a lot of those kind of T-shirt designs, and I don't know, I just kind of got out of it. I like doing those parodies, but there's a whole lot of other people doing them, and it just seemed like it was getting, I don't know, it was seemed like most of the stuff people were doing I had already seen before, and it was just I was getting bored with it. I mean, how many, you know, how many cereal box, you know, parodies can you do? Or like I've seen so many with the poster from Akira where the characters are walking away from a motorcycle or something, and but it's all the different, you know, whatever character you can think, whether it's, you know, like Boba Fett walking to Slave One, or just pick a vehicle and pick a character, and it's like I don't know, it seemed like the same stuff over and over again. I guess that's what sells, you know. So, but I always try to do like more original ideas, and I don't know. I guess they were too out of the box, I guess. But you know, but I've got some of my designs are. Uh, I actually just got like a royalty check from. I just uploaded some on what was it, T Public, which I already had stuff on Redbubble. I think Cirque works on Redbubble, or like I said, I've got a few on T Public. But somebody from T Public contacted me and said, "Oh, put your designs on here. We can sell them." I'm like, "Yeah, everyone says that we can sell them, but they must have sold some because they sent me a royalty check." So I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's something, you know. Um, so I got other designs I got to upload there, and so I'll have to do that. But yeah, so many people are doing like um, Groot and Rocket T-shirts and stuff. That's obviously that's the big thing right now. But I don't know. Anyway, so but yeah, you know, I should just start uploading because I have some T-shirt design because I just got frustrated with it because I had a couple designs like the one that I told you that's a poster. It was supposed to be a T-shirt at T Fury. They're going to do a T-shirt out of it, and they said, "Well, we want to do a T-shirt, but we don't want it to. It kind of right now it kind of looks like a poster. We don't want it to look like a poster. We want it to look more like a T-shirt." So I did all these redesigns on it and everything, and went back and forth with their art director, he was a cool guy and everything. I mean, he was, you know, it wasn't like a problem or anything, but so eventually I made all these designs so it looked more like what they expected a T-shirt to look like, and and then then they go, "Oh, we're doing posters now. We just want to do this as a poster." So, and unfortunately, at the time, the posters paid less of a royalty than the T-shirts, and you had to actually buy a T-shirt to get the poster. It was like an add-on, and so all that work I put into it, and I didn't make very much money off of it. So I was like, I got so frustrated. Well, that with that, and then I had another design that was it was and like I said, I used to do a lot of parody stuff, but this one was Admiral Akbar, and it was, you know, the whole "it's a trap" meme and everything like that. And but it was kind of like an old, you know, poster for like it was his exterminating service, and he had like these Admiral Akbar brand mouse traps, and it said, you know, works on womp rats and imperial mouse droids and all this kind of stuff. And so yeah, it was kind of a cool, you know, design. Um, it looked like an old, like I said, a kind of an ad. Um, so they accepted that one, and then they've just got so many people submitting stuff that I guess it sat on their schedule for so long that they eventually called me up and said, "Yeah, we think this meme's kind of run out of steam." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, duh. If you would have printed it back when that meme was a little more popular, it was, you know, it might have sold." But so I got real frustrated with T Fury at the time, so I just said, nuts to this. I'm done doing these t-shirt designs, which probably isn't the best thing, because if you are trying to break into a business like that, the main thing to do is just keep submitting and not get frustrated and not. And I knew going into it when I was designing t-shirts that I was going to get a lot of rejections and everything, which is fine. But I guess the thing that bothered me most is when I would get accepted. I mean, if I would have got rejections, that's fine. I'd send it to another company or whatever and try there and whatever. But when it get accepted, and then, which basically they tell you they're going to print your design, and then they just hold on to it forever and then decide they're not going to. That's what kind of bothered me. Um, but then they called me back, and I guess they said, well, I mean, this was, I don't know, a few months ago, a month ago, and they were like, oh, now we're doing posters again, and they're not add-ons. You can just buy them by themselves. And we figured out, I guess the reason why the the royalty was less, because I think you get like a for the t-shirts you get $1 for each one they sell. Um, and I think for the poster it was only like 50 cents, because I guess it was harder to mail posters because they could get damaged, where a t-shirt they can just throw in a bag and it really can't damage it. So they had to, I guess they had to pay more to have it shipped. So it was, but I guess they figured that out. So they upped the royalty to about $1 a poster, and you don't have to buy another thing. So they asked if they could offer my How to Kill Monsters design on there. And so I don't know if they sold any yet. I haven't heard anything. I guess I could go on the website and check it out. I've just been kind of busy to see. I don't know if it tells you how many you've sold or not, but I don't know. But what I was going to say was I have a couple of unfinished designs, and I've just got like I keep like a Evernote file with, anytime I come up with like a funny idea for, um, a clever idea for a t-shirt design or something like that. But like I said, I try to think of things that haven't been done yet, and I've got some good ideas, but it just seems like they want to see the same stuff again. They want to see a little, like, some character in a drawn in a pocket of a t-shirt, print a printed pocket to look like a pocket on a t-shirt, but just printed with a character peeking out. And kudos to the first person that did that, but then everyone else does the same thing. It's like, come on, man. We've seen all these things, but I don't know. It's kind of like anything else. They want to see stuff that's kind of already been done, because they know it'll be successful. So I've got some ideas. So maybe I don't know, if things are actually selling like on this T Public, maybe I'll put it up there. You know, it just seemed like a waste of time before, but because I've probably made more money, because I've had stuff on Redbubble for a while, and I just started, and I've only got like probably 3 designs on TeePublic, but I've already made more from TeePublic than I have with all my designs for a lot longer on Redbubble. So I don't know where that is. So I guess the guy that contacted me knew what he's talking about, because they have sold some. So I've got to take some of my other designs and put them up there, because yeah, I mean, one of the things, like if you're doing art like this, try to get it out to as many places as possible. And I'm not the best at that, because I've got like a store envy store and everything like that. But one thing, I'm not on Etsy, which I should be, because all my stuff would fit right in at Etsy. But it's just taking the time to set up an Etsy store. But the more stores you have out there, the more different avenues you have you know, of pulling in some kind of income, the better. It all kind of adds up. But it does take time to set up all these different stores and everything. So you never know. You never know what works. I'm still trying to figure that out myself, but I don't know. Maybe I'll like something like this. See, I don't. this kind of stuff, I mean, I would sell the original, like just the sketch like this. I wouldn't have a problem selling that because it's just like a one of a kind original piece. But I don't know if I'd make prints of it. Like the things that, anytime I do anything that has an existing, it's an existing property, like whether it's Guardians of the Galaxy or anything. If I do any kind of a print or a T-shirt, I make sure that it definitely, without a doubt, falls into the category of parody. It's definitely humorous. It's definitely something that you would see in like a take in a Mad magazine, and not just something like this where it's Groot. It's just basically Groot, but it's more or less in my style. I don't know. It's a touchy subject. I know a lot of people do that, and I don't want to put anyone down for that, but I do like drawing fan art stuff because as a kid, I don't know. I don't know if when I was a kid, I was really the kind of person that wanted to draw like Marvel comics and stuff because you know, eventually when I started making my own comics, I had all, my own characters and stuff, and many of them were just basic rip-offs of Marvel and DC characters, but I thought they were my own or original or whatever. Um, it's still, I forgot. I'm working down here, and then I look back up, and oh yeah, he's still got that mustache. Um, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I don't know. I think I always wanted to create my own characters. I never, but I did want to. Maybe I was just super naive. One, the fact that I thought that I could kind of break into Marvel, and the other that I thought that Marvel was going to let me create my own characters for their books because I didn't really want to draw like Spider-Man all that much. I do every now and then. That's why I like doing these, drawing these more, popular characters. But what I really like to do is make up my own characters. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I've got one day a week that I'm just going to do fan art. It's Fan Art Friday. It's going to stick to that, and all the other time I'm going to work on my own creations. That way I can kind of get my fix of doing characters like this. So getting there. We not quite an hour yet. It looks like I'm on schedule. I don't want to go too far, but I do got a little more to do. I could probably, if I wanted to, I could probably speed up this process a little bit more. I'm kind of taking my time, I guess. But I'm not in a big hurry. I mean, I guess if this was something that had a deadline, but I'm just having fun with this right now. Let's see. Draw some of these roots kind of coming down through here. In the back here. Maybe something here. So, all right. So let's see what we're going to do now. Now that I got most of this, all the details drawn out, I'm going to go. I always like to put a bold outline around the character. Now, some of this is going to go where the black is back here, so I won't need to really do it there because that's all going to be filled in. And pretty soon is the point where I'm going to be able to fix that mustache. Unless we just want to keep it the evil Groot. It'd be funny if the Guardians of the Galaxy comes out and there's an evil Groot with a mustache. It probably wouldn't look like that though. If Groot grew a mustache, it'd probably be made out of like vines or something. I need to get some more ink on my brush. Not enough on there. Let's see. So, oh yeah, so I was talking about going to see Ghostbusters earlier. I'll show you this. I did this a while back, but I found it. Where is it? Oh yeah, here. Here's my Bill Murray, Peter Venkman. I was gonna do all four of them, but I didn't. I never got around to it. Maybe I should. Maybe I could do that on a fan art. So yeah, I mean, also yeah, if you guys have any requests or anything that you want to see me do, any you know pop culture type character, let me know. That's what this thing's about. So I do take requests, and if anyone is interested, I'm sure I could probably. I've got a whole bunch of these sketches that so I'll bring them to cons with me, and I'll sell them, and I'll sell them here and there and everything, but I don't know. If there is an interest, just inquire and let me know. But I've got a whole bunch of them. I don't know if it makes sense to put them on my store or something. But so yeah, let's see. Hold on. On the last show when I was drawing Star-Lord, I was commenting that his guns, because they got that kind of double barrel, like one over the top, one over the bottom, the style of his gun. And I was commenting that reminded me of the guns that they had in the movie The Black Hole. It's the Disney movie The Black Hole from the 80s. Came out, a little after Star Wars. It was going to be their big space epic. And I hadn't seen that movie in a while. So I actually rented it from Netflix. It's sitting right here, and I think I'm gonna watch that tonight after this. Um, I'm curious what I'll think about it this much later, because it's been a while since I've seen it. I think I rewatched it maybe could have been maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, but I'm bad about remembering like movies and things like that, unless it's a movie I've seen just so many times. So that's a good thing about for me for rewatches is that I'll probably forget a lot of it. So, but I remember liking it as a kid, and I had all the toys and the read along records. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that. They had these books, and it was like it was on. They had them on records, and then later they had them on cassette tapes. And you play the record or the cassette tape, and then it'll tell you when the next page is ready, and you turn it and you follow along with your book. So it's kind of like, this is the story of Star Wars. You will know when it's time to turn the page when you hear R2D2 beep like this, and R2D2 would beep and everything, and then you turn the page. So so I was thinking, oh man, I remember because I had the black hole like that. It was I rem- this is before you know when you saw a movie in the theater, it wasn't like it would come out on video or DVD or anything, 6 months later. You had to wait. So you were kind of any other way you could get to have that story, and that was kind of the closest thing you could have to the movie were these read along books and these audio stories that went along with them. So I had the black hole, and I remember listening to that. So I was like, you know what? I bet if I went on YouTube, that would be up there, and I can listen to it. And I did, and it was awesome. So yeah, I was drawing, and I was listening to that and I started listening to other ones. There's still a bunch on there that I want to listen to, but one of the things that it is up there now that is so cool, and I actually did hear about this before, and I listened to it before I started searching out these things on YouTube. But there's a podcast, and I think it was there's a guy I follow on social media, Sean Robert, and he's got um, this thing called Branded in the '80s, and it's just all cool stuff, from when I was a kid from the '80s, and he does podcasts, and he posts all kinds of articles and things about cool stuff from the 80s and toys and movies and all kinds of stuff. It's really a cool podcast. There's another one like that called The Retroist, which I like too. Um, but so I follow those, and he posted this thing, and it was somebody is doing a podcast now where they're taking movies that were never made as those read along books, or would never have been made because they were probably like R rated or something, and they're doing them in that style. And they did the first one they did was The Thing. The John Carpenter's The Thing, and it's like the coolest thing. You can find it. I think it's on YouTube. If I'm sure if you search read along storybook The Thing, you can find that and listen to it. But it's also a podcast, and forgive me because I don't remember exactly. I favorited it, so and I think I subscribed to it, but I don't remember the name of the actual podcast. I wish I did. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember right offhand. But anyway, it was really cool. I mean, and they really did a really good job on it, because they had actors doing the different voices, and they were pretty close to the actors from the films, and they did all the sound effects and everything. It's really well done. It was like, oh, this is so great. This is like the best thing I've seen in a while. So, let me see. Um, so yeah, so we want to fill in some shadows and some things here, just to give it a little more depth. So, we're especially like under where his head is kind of tilting down. That's going to cast a shadow, um, like right in here, where this kind of wooden chest plate comes down, and here. That will kind of break some of this stuff up here. And maybe it's just some gaps actually in where it goes inside like his tree body. And I'm gonna do that at least once every 10 minutes or so. I wonder how much Vin Diesel got paid just to say I'm Groot. They cast him in these movies like Iron Giant doing the voice, and he hardly says anything. It's funny. And he probably gets tons of royalties. That's cool though that they, hired the same voice as Iron Giant to do this voice of Groot. I love that movie. I saw that. I saw Iron Giant in the theater when it came out, and like unfortunately not a lot of other people did because it didn't do too well. But now it's like a cult classic, deservingly so, because it's great. It was nice that it kind of eventually found its audience, because I kept having to tell people about it. Oh, you haven't seen Iron Giant? It's so good. And it was like, I think it was Warner Brothers that did that, but it was right around the time, like I'm in Phoenix, and um, there was and Fox used to have an animation studio here for a short time, and they produced Anastasia, and um, I think they did a sequel to Anastasia, like a direct-to-video sequel with Bartok the Magnificent or whatever, and then they also did Titan AE, which I liked. I thought Titan AE was cool, um, but it kind of bombed. So after that, I think they closed down the studio, which sucked because there were a lot of people that were employed there, and a lot of people were there from other countries on like work visas and things like that. And when they shut the studio down, they actually got deported. So that kind of sucks. And that sometimes this business can be rough, man. I mean, it's like a struggle to make a living as a freelance artist a lot of times. But really, when you think about it, I mean, I haven't worked for animation studios or anything, but I've worked for like game companies and things, and um, there's not much more job security at those places either. I mean, I worked at one game studio, and it was, man, when it was going, it was great. And I mean, it was like, oh, we're doing great. We're buying everyone iPads as gifts to show you what you're doing, and we went out and had a so my camera just cut out on me, and it was problematic to say the least because I wasn't sure if what I just recorded there saved or not, and my camera software was not working. Um, and I was getting a little worried there because especially after I just spilled ink on the drawing, I'm like, this is not a good day for this drawing. So, um, but yeah, so I finally just had to reboot my whole computer because it said the program wasn't responding and everything. So, and it looks like what I recorded previously was saved, but it kind of cut off. I forgot exactly what I was talking about. I think I was talking about the game studio that I was at, but I don't remember what my point was going to be. Just that, yeah, it was a really cool job, and unfortunately, they did have to scale back, but that kind of happens all the time. So, and then I got the funny thing was after that I got hired by another game company, a startup game company, and that looked like it was going to be a pretty sweet deal. They were, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I'm not showing you what I'm working on. Right now I brought out the Micron and I am filling in some of these kind of um, doorways, like I don't know if it's a airlock or something like that or whatever. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I got hired at this other game company, and um, they're funded by I don't know. They got their funding from I don't know Europe or something like that. I don't know. So they got like their initial wave of funding, and then it didn't. After that, the rest of the funding never came through. So I don't know if they're still in like litigation over that or whatever. But I mean, they had plans to purchase this really cool facility that had this place had a swimming pool and everything, and it would have been sweet, but that ended up not happening. So, but it's like, oh, back to doing the freelance thing. But you never know. It's I'm not sorry that I keep forgetting that the whole thing is in the camera. But I guess my point was though, if you're, there, like I said, there's in this business, there's really no guarantees. So you might as well try to, you know, see if you can kind of make it on your own. At least then, if you're at a point where you can support yourself on your own, which is kind of up and down for me. Like sometimes things are good and busy, and sometimes they're not. So, um, but if you're at a point where you can do that, then you don't really need to worry about other, you know, like an employer or something. So, but easier said than done, I know. So anyway, enough about that. But so I did while I was waiting for this camera to fix itself and everything. I did do a little more on here, not a whole lot, but But between these two videos, I think the last one I did was maybe an hour and 10. So I'm hoping this one won't be too much longer than that. I don't know how long attention spans people can have when I'm just drawing, you know. But so I don't want to go too long here. Anyway, so I got that. So now I'm going to bring out the big brush. This is my Winsor Newton. This is a, oh, you see that? This is a pricey brush, so it shouldn't pop off like that. Yes, Series 7 Winsor Newton number 3. So I'm gonna get some ink on this thing and then fill in this background here, kind of, which should help to kind of pop Groot out a bit. And hopefully this will be where I can fix that mustache mistake. Can already see that I'm getting rid of this side. Trying to pop in these blacks. These heavy blacks usually really help to bring out the character here. So I'll wrap this up pretty soon. So yeah, I don't know if I should continue going on with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I might just finish up. I got 3 more of the main characters to go, so I might do that. But yeah, don't forget to leave a comment. Oh, you know what? I need to fill in his eyes here. Don't forget to, you know, send me your requests. Who would you like me to? Who would you like me? Who would you like to see me draw? There we go. See that does that? Now all I have to do is go in with a little white and I can fix that line in there, which I will do when I start. I'm going to put some stars back here, so when I bring out the white for that, then I will fix that. There we go. This is the part where you have to be real cautious, because when you start adding these big black areas, it takes a little longer for them to dry, so make sure I'm not gonna smudge over it, especially after all the other problems I've had with this particular sketch. All in all, though, so far I'm pretty happy with it. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. Should make a good what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. What is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's I think it starts with a C. I don't know. But it should, you know, should go nicely with my my Star-Lord one. And then we'll see. We'll see if I do you know, Rocket or Gamora or Drax, how those come out. I don't know which one I'll do next. Rocket's a pretty popular one, so maybe I'll save him for last, and then go on to something else after that. So that leaves either Gamora or Drax. Is it Drax or Drax? Drax, I think. I don't know. We'll see which one I do next. And I don't know. I don't know what would be next, fan art wise. I guess I'll leave that up to anyone watching. I don't think I got any suggestions on the last one, but usually if I post on Facebook or something and ask, then I'll get, you know, my followers and stuff will probably give me some suggestions. A lot of times people suggest that I do like video game characters and stuff, which ironically, since I mean I have worked in the industry, I don't play a lot of video games, so I just really don't have the time because I'm drawing and stuff. But so I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that, those characters. But I guess as long as I have reference, I can draw it. But it's always good to know a little bit more about the character so you can kind of add that personality. If you're just drawing from reference and you've never seen like the character in a story or in action, I think you might be missing out on some things. So, but I'm willing to draw whatever. It is fun to kind of know a little bit about the characters you're drawing, though. So, okay, so he's pretty much done. I'm gonna get some of that ink off of that brush so it doesn't dry up in there. So like I said, that one's not a cheap brush. Get my little gel pen. This is Uniball Sino gel pen. Let's see if we can fix this mistake here. Let's see, I got a little bit of ink on my hand. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Not totally dry right here. If I go up from above. I'm surprised these gel pens have pretty good coverage. They seem to cover the black pretty well. I mean, you can't do a whole lot, but this isn't a big area. I might have to go over it with something else, but they're real. I'm sorry, I just bumped that. They're real good for. Yeah, it doesn't look good. I'm looking at the screen. It doesn't look that great on the screen. But I'll have to wait for it to dry and then I'll go over again. The problem is it kind of picks up some of the blacks, so you get some of that gray. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. I'll go over it again and see if we can't fix that. But for now, I'm just gonna add some stars. So I have to keep going over here on this side sheet and kind of getting rid of some of the blacks that are on here. It was weird. I just randomly dropped it at a spot and I wasn't paying attention and it landed right on top, exactly on top of another star that I made. What's the chance of that? I'm getting there. I always forget to leave room for my signature. I like to do the signature in white on black if I can. Oop, I just saw something I missed. It's picking up some of that black. Darn it. Might have to bring out the gouache or some heavy white. I will fix it one way or another. Maybe I waited too long or I didn't wait long enough to go over it. So let's see. I actually wanted these to. It doesn't work. Where the heck? Okay. one of these to show in black, like it's showing through to the space, like it's open and there. So yeah, I'll go over this smudge area once more and fix that. You know what I should do? I already tried my brush. I was thinking of putting the shadow back here to kind of pop, just a shadow that's cast behind this door. I might do that. I don't know. I kind of put away my my brush. I don't want to bring it back out again. Plus, we're getting a little far along as far as time goes, so I might pop that in later. I don't know. But for now, I'm just gonna sign my name. I can't see that. So there you have it. There's Groot. I'll just go back in and fix that, and he should be good to go. That was a fun one. I had fun with that guy. So anyway, this has been what is this? It is, excuse me, Fan Art Friday, and I'm Scott with Circworks, and if you're not already following me on YouTube, yeah, go ahead and do that. I should have some more stuff coming up. I do my 100 days of making comics. So yeah, and you can find me at circworks.com and just check me out on the interwebs. And I'll see you guys next Friday. Well, if you're only watching Fan Art Friday, I'll see you next Friday. And if you are watching my other stuff, my 100 days or whatever else I'm doing, then I'll see you sooner than that. So see you then. That is all.